Hey team, it's Z here. Welcome to another episode of In the Room Talks. Got a little granola in my mouth. And today I am on the couch. In today's episode, I want to talk about my why. My main reason about why I'm on this quest, Blasian quest, about to hit a year old soon on November 1st. It's when Renee and I started this channel last year. In order for you guys to really understand my why and the whole reason why I'm doing this, I think you need to understand who I am. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little story about my life to hopefully give you guys a better insight of who is Z. Growing up, I was an only child due to China's one-child policy. I was an only child to immigrant parents who came to America. Growing up as a child, I'd say I was fearful of literally everything. I think my biggest fear was dying. I think it really, it was due to the fact that I was, an only child. My parents were always working. Parents aren't really around much. They came to a brand new country with $0 and they had to build something on their own, which is tremendous effort and willpower to make that happen. Growing up, I was really scared. I didn't have any confidence. And especially growing up in the 90s, there's not much Asians in South Florida. Just to paint a picture, just to give you guys an idea of how scared I was. My grandfather lived with us for a little bit when I was in the 2nd or 3rd grade, and he had just come from China. And I remember going into the fridge, and I wanted to drink some milk. I don't know how old you are in 2nd or 3rd grade, but that young little Z, he thought every, expiration meant as soon as it was opened, you got 48 hours to drink it or it's expired. Regardless of what it was, OJ, once the cap's open, I got 48 hours to drink it. Because I was not gonna drink it if it was after 48 hours. I would always use my grandpa, and I'm my thinking back then was my life is so valuable. Entitlement, Quick fun fact, if you guys didn't know, if you're an only Asian child and you're a boy, Asian parents will treat you like a prince. Literally, you're gonna get a sense of entitlement because you're their only child, you're a prized possession. I'll go into more of that later on if you guys want me to. Just let me know. But for now, it'll be too much of a rant. So back to the story. I'm in 2nd, 3rd grade. There's my fridge, and I'm man, I want some milk. But I'm pretty sure it was past the 2-day expiration mark that I had going on in my head. So I was like, yo, Grandpa, can you try this real quick to make sure I don't die so you can be my poison tester? I obviously didn't say it like that, but thinking back now, I'm man, I was that kid that made his grandfather try things food-wise before I would even approach it or try it. The point of the story of this little segment in the beginning stages of my life in the early days was that I was very scared of death. So what happened? Because obviously I hope I don't give off that I'm scared vibe. If anything, I'd say I'm a lot more confident now. So what was the turning point? Yeah, it must have been around 4th or 5th grade. Growing up in South Florida, there's this theme park in Tampa called Busch Gardens, and they have a bunch of roller coasters, and I had these 2 older cousins. Their names were Gang and Hao. Yeah, that's right. The dude's name was Gang and Hao. That's right, we Chinese and I'm Z. What's up? So basically they took me, my little scared little self, and they took me to Busch Gardens, and I didn't want to bitch out. I didn't want to act all scared in front of my 2 older cousins. They were literally the closest thing that I had to brothers growing up. They took me to this one roller coaster. I think it was called the Montu. Essentially, it's the one where your legs are just hanging, right? It's not the one where you have a foot thing or whatever. It's they put the thing over you. It goes upside down. It's a metal roller coaster. Your legs are just hanging. And I was literally scared out of my mind. Like, in all honesty, to me, it was like life and death. Like, if I got on this roller coaster, I was going to die. So that was the decision I had to make in front of me. So I was forced with two options. It was either go on this roller coaster, bless you, shorty. I had two options. Go on this roller coaster to certain death, because that was a reality in my head. That's important to note. Or like, and go through with it just to prove to my cousins that I wasn't a little bitch. Or bitch out and live to see another day. That I was at a crossroad, and I made the decision I was like, fuck it, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die like a man. You know, I made that decision like real quick. I was like, I ain't gonna be a little bitch. Like, if it happens, it happens. Like, I'm with my cousins, I love them, like, we're gonna do it together. At that one moment in my life, that's when everything changed, right? That's when I made the mental choice of not being scared anymore, and, you know, of living my life without not being in fear. And it was just so much easier. After that moment, I feel like I shed that person, that little kid version of me, and a whole new Z was born. And the Z that was born out of that ride was very fearless and entitled, like a kid who thought he was untouchable, essentially, right? Like only child syndrome, like call it what you want. I had it. I'm just speaking my truth. Hate if you want, but I'm just speaking from the heart, y'all. So after that day, I became, you know, fearless, and I thought I was untouchable. Fast forward a little bit, I remember the first time someone name called me, Ching Chong Wang, hey slanty eyes, yo flat face. I've literally heard it all. And it's true, man, I got a flat face, I'll admit that. See this? I don't know if the camera can see it, but I got a pretty flat face. I remember the first time I was riding my bike home from school, and like these two dudes just pushed me off of my bike and beat me up just because I was Asian, just because I was different. And this was like South Florida back in like the 90s. I think this was like 5th grade. I was bullied growing up, you know, especially being an only child. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't have anyone to say. My parents were never home. You know, I went through a lot of shit in my head growing up. But the main point to take away from this is that, like, cool, I was bullied, like, yeah, I feel like I'm not the only one that's been through that. What's different is I never lost hope. It was just like, all right, whatever, I got beat up, and I just saw it as like, man, I'm just like weak right now, you know, I need to gain a skill, I need to get stronger. I never like cowered, I was never like scared to go to school. I was never like, oh man, that's gonna ruin my day, you know, I'm not gonna go to school anymore. You know, I just took it in stride. It was just another day. You know, if I'm gonna go to school every day and someone's gonna fucking like pick on me and like, you know, pick a fight with me, then bring it. You know, fast forward a little bit more, back in college, I used to be like a very heavy drinker. I mean, most Asians are heavy drinkers, I'd say. I was lucky enough to go to college in Hawaii where I could drink all I wanted, and I was able to walk home. Given the fact that I was on an island. Where I lived was pretty close to all the bars. So I took that habit of being a heavy drinker in college and like essentially thinking like, yo, nothing can happen, you know, like all my other friends were getting DUIs because they had cars, and like I just took the bus and I just walked. Like nothing was really, you know, nothing really crazy happened to me. So I go home after college, and a couple of my friends from high school, you know, they're like, yo Z, you're back, like let's go drink. And you know, we went to go drink at this bar. It had like free tequila shots every hour on the hour, and as most of you guys know, like I love tequila. I love it. I still do to this day. I don't care. So basically we got wasted, like blackout wasted. And my friend John, like, he's a really good guy. He dropped me off at my house, and this is all like the police report, by the way. Just give you guys an idea real quick of how you know, how do you remember stuff when you're blackout drunk? Well, I read the police report. Police report, ooh, what? Alright, so just listen to the story. So, drops me off at home. So apparently I didn't walk into my house. I walked into my neighbor's house, and I thought it was my house. And he woke up, and I hadn't seen him because I was in college. This was like a new guy that moved in. And me and him got into like a verbal altercation. He called the cops. Cops came. Cops like overreacted. you know, call it police brutality, call it whatever you want, but like, you know, I was just like a drunk kid, and I was obviously giving them attitude. I was like, they were telling me to get, like, you know, show my hands, you know, and all that, and I was like, bro, fuck you, this is my house, get the fuck out of my house, to the cops. And they sent the police dog on me. His name was Caesar. So, you know, he bit me. I had like major dog bites. So they sent Caesar off at me, and they this is what happened. The dude like bit me. Here's 2 dog bites right here. 2 more dog bites right here. This is super deep. They had to staple it in. To this day, it's still like pretty crazy. I'll show you guys like a better view of it. Like, you know, that's, ooh, you see that? Yeah. All right. So they bit me there, and then they bit me on my elbow as well. These 2 bite marks right here. Dude bit me here, and then he bit me right here. You know, they tell me, they're like, yo dude, you're lucky that you still have arm movement. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm also lucky to be alive. So after that day, it was a real like wake-up call to me to realize, like, man, I'm not untouchable. You know, that like really like cocky Z, that was like in college and growing up in high school. Like, I think it took like, I had a really big like reality check. I mean, that's what happens when you go to jail. You know, you wake up, you sober up, and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Like, mentally, I was never like broken. It was just like, cool, this happened, moving on. Like, I still got more to do in my life, right? So that's kind of the gist. I just really wanted to share my experiences and my story. We're about to hit a year on this channel, and it just started off as like, I just want to do cool shit with the girl that I'm madly in love with, right? That's how it all started. And then you guys started talking to us, and we were just being ourselves, right? Like, we're just being our drunk selves. It kind of evolved, and I really want to say this because it's important, and I hope whoever is watching this, you know, really like understands that this is the type of person I am. I started high school in like 2005, 2006. That was over 10 years ago, and that's like a huge mind blown right there. And I realize now there's kids now who were born in like 2000, and they're like in high school now. They're going into high school now, so it's like a whole new generation of kids coming up, and it's a whole new generation of kids who are going to experience the same things that I've experienced. You know, the bullying, the racism, the whatever, you know, and especially like Asian kids, like only Asian kids. Like, there's a whole new, you know, wave of immigrants coming to America now as well. And I know the pressures that Asian parents give on their Asian kids. Like, you know, you gotta be a lawyer, you gotta be a doctor, you know, you gotta stay good, you know, you can't do bad things, you can't do drugs, can't go to jail, you know. And I basically, what I want to do is I want to inspire those kids and then give them hope that there's always another way to success, right? However you define it, however you define success, there's always another way. It's not just, you know, go down this career path, make your money, and you'll be happy. That's rarely the case of how it is. So I just want to show people through my actions that, like, look, I've been to jail, all right? Like, I used to be an alcoholic. I've been bullied, you know, I have my fair share of experiences with this. And I'm an only child, you know, and I just want people to know, like, it's okay to be different. You shouldn't care about what other people think. And I hope, you know, through my actions, through this channel, and through the growth that everyone's gonna see us do, that's why I'm doing Blasian Quest. That's why I'm on this quest to grow, to one day inspire others to be like, man, yo, Z did it, you know. Like, I guess I just don't want people to feel the same loneliness, to feel alone, like how I felt I was alone growing up. Someone's out there, man. Someone's got your back. You just gotta push through it and keep hustling. So that's really all I wanted to say. Also, with this whole dancing thing, I literally just started dancing 4 months ago, and just, you know, to even just show more through action, like, wow, Z like just started dancing 4 months ago, and now he can have basic steps. You know, he's like a full-on beginner now. You know, I wasn't just total beginner, level 0 beginner. Like I feel like I'm like a level 3 beginner, almost hitting intermediate. But I've been dancing like every day, like literally I've been dancing every day, and yeah, I hope it just goes to show, you know, while you guys are watching this and growing with us, like we want to hear from you guys as well. You know, I hope you guys are growing as well as you're watching us. And so there you have it, my why. You know, I'm on this quest to inspire others through my actions, because words are just words at the end of the day, right? I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3. Blasian Quest out.